My name is Bishabunko Sipaba, student number 25204361, and I am the host for the show.
My name is Emihle Malapu, student number U25402-103, and I'm the educational psychologist.
My name is Thandegile Mkhize, student number 25549902, and I am a qualified teacher.
My name is Martin Slamini. Student number is U25174933, and I'm a student teacher.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's episode of Beyond the Chalkboard. Today, we'll be looking at the challenges, the stories, and the reality of teaching and beyond. I'm your host, Bishabunko Sipaba, and today we have a very interesting panel. With us today, we have Dr. Emihle Malapu, an educational psychologist and also a lecturer, followed by Ms. Thandegile Mkhize, a teacher who's been in the industry for over 2 decades. Yes, 2 decades. And lastly, our guest for today is Ms. Matlilo Dlamini, and student teacher, final year student teacher. Ladies, welcome. Please be seated. Ms. Mkhize, let us start with you. You've been in the classroom for over 2 decades. I must say that's very impressive. And how would you say the role of a teacher has changed over the years?
It has changed dramatically. Back then, teaching was all about delivering content, maths, reading, and science. But now, as teachers, we are expected to be counselors, social workers, and even surrogates parents for this matter. So, as a teacher, you must also remember that students come from different backgrounds. They might not receive support same as the other kids. So, as a teacher, you're not only expected to teach, but also to care.
That is very powerful, Ms. Mkhize. And over to you, Dr. Malapu. How would you now, from a psychological perspective, define the shift as important? Why is it so important?
It's very essential. Research shows that a child's academic success is deeply connected with their psychological well-being. So if a child is anxious or dealing with trauma, they lose focus. And teachers who understand the psycho-emotional needs of their learners make a huge difference, not only in grades, but also in lives.
We often hear the saying that it takes a village to raise a child, right? We now look at the village and the classroom. Ms. Martino, as somebody who is about to enter the profession, how do you feel about this role?
Honestly, it's overwhelming, but also inspiring. We are taught that it takes a village to raise a child. Teachers often are the most stable adults figuring the child's life, whereby there is a responsibility and also an opportunity for a positive force.
And Ms. Mkhize, do you perhaps feel supported in this role?
Supported. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. As teachers, we deal with overcrowded classrooms, like 40 to 50 learners per classroom. So, and many classrooms and many schools lack better resources like libraries, no internet, and as teachers, we're expected to perform miracles.
That is very heartbreaking to see the lack of support that the Department of Education is providing to our teachers. And Dr. Malapu, can you please tell us how does these environmental challenges affect both teachers and learners?
It's a recipe for burnout. Teachers face a lot of pressure, and without proper training in educational psychology and childhood development, they feel helpless. That is why it is important to equip teachers with the tools needed for understanding educational development, learning barriers, and mental health problems.
Thank you so much, Dr. Malapu. Talk about educational psychology. Dr. Malapu, can you please enlighten us what exactly is educational psychology?
Well, at its core, educational psychology is the study of how people learn and develop. It covers everything from cognitive development, how we think and solve problems to emotional and social growth. It helps teachers understand why learners may struggle with reading and why others might act out in class.
And Ms. Magdalena, please enlighten us. How has your training in educational psychology perhaps prepared you for this role?
Oh, it's been an eye-opener. I now understand a child who's disruptive might be dealing with trauma or learning ability. I've learned to look beyond behavior and ask what is really going on, showing empathy and strategy.
Oh, I wish I had that training when I started. Back then, we didn't talk about dyslexia or ADHD. We just labeled kids as being naughty. And now I can see how unfair that was to the kids.
So we have this thing of understanding child's development, right? And what exactly and what are the key stages that teachers should know in child development, Dr. Malapo?
So we typically look at 4 stages, which is infancy, early childhood, middle childhood, and adolescence. These stages have each of these stages has developmental milestones, physically, cognitively, emotionally, and socially. Understanding these as a teacher will help you set realistic expectation and also adapt your teaching methods.
And can you perhaps give us an example of the stages, Dr. Malapo?
Sure. An example of this is middle childhood, ages 6 to 12. This is where children learn develop logical thinking. They now understand rules and fairness. As a teacher who knows this can design a lesson plan that encourages collaboration and problem solving.
Looking at adolescents. It is where identity becomes more crucial. A child get to know who really they are, needing guidance, not just instruction. That is where a teacher plays a vital role in a learner or a student.
So ladies, we are now looking at the debates in development, right? We often hear or researchers talk about the debates in child development as in nature versus nurture, discontinuity versus continuity. Dr. Malapo, can you please explain that to us?
The nature versus nurture debate asks whether are we shaped by our genetics or by the environment that we grow up in. The answer is it's both. A learner may have genetic predisposition to anxiety, but a healthy and positive environment may make all the difference.
Oh, I have seen that firsthand. 2 learners coming from similar backgrounds but turn out to have a completely different future. It all depends on how we support our students.
And Dr. Malapo, what about continuity versus discontinuity?
This is about whether development is gradual or happens in stages. Again, it's a bit of both. For example, language development is gradual, but puberty is a big sudden change.
Okay, ladies, that is a very big statement that you guys are making. And let us take a quick break, and after this we will look into the future of education. Welcome back to our lovely viewers at home. We are still on today's episode of Beyond the Chalkboard. We now look into the big debates in development, right? So you mentioned the debates in child development, right? In terms of nature versus nature, continuity versus discontinuity. Dr. Malapo, can you perhaps unpack that for us?
Absolutely. The nature versus nurture debate asks whether are we shaped by our genes or the environment that we grow up in. The answer is both actually, because a child may have genetic predisposition to anxiety, but a positive and healthy environment can make all the difference.
I have seen this firsthand. Two learners coming from similar backgrounds but turn out to be completely different. All that is based from the support given by the teachers to the students.
And Dr. Malapu, what about continuity and versus discontinuity?
That's about whether development is gradual or happens in stages. And again, the answer is both. Language development is gradual, but puberty, that's a big sudden shift.
Ladies, as we wrap up, I would like to hear from each of you. Ladies, as we wrap up, I would like to hear from each of you. What's the one thing that you'd like to see change in education?
More support for teachers. We need training in psychology. We need better infrastructure. Fewer students in a club per class. And we also need leadership that listens.
I'd like to see educational psychology embedded in every teacher training program. It's not optional, it's essential.
Oh, and I would like to see a shift of mindset that education is not just about academics, but nurturing. That's what I am preparing for.
Beautifully said, ladies, and thank you for your insights and your passion. It is clear that teaching is not just a profession to you guys, but it is a calling. And with the right support, knowledge, and heart, our teachers can truly transform lives and bring change to the world. And that is it for today's episode, Beyond the Chalkboard. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep believing in the power of education. That is me signing out.